Hey, this is Kenny Wilkerson from the band Nova Rex, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Oh shit!
Sorry, I just caught Chris douche fluting on camera.
See, now I go from those glasses to the rock shades.
Oh, that's
nice.
Yeah,
I can see myself in your shades, man.
Now I can do it without it. I got you. Well, dude, when you get old, you start working on this stuff, right?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you.
How are you today?
No, I'll be honest with you, dude. I've been sick.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, for almost 2 weeks, man. But now I'm fine. So just got a cold. And then, but I got like 48 hours to get my legs on because I got to drive 7 hours Thursday to Atlanta to do a gig.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Where are you located?
Orlando.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Orlando now. Yeah, my band lives in like St. Pete, Tampa area.
Okay, I've spent 15 years down in St. Pete.
Yeah, hour and a half. You know the deal.
Yeah.
And we're playing this Saturday in Atlanta, Georgia, at front. What's it called? Fury Fest Harley. But July 1st, I'm at the Amway.
Oh wow! So you guys are getting out there.
Cool, right?
What's it like being back out on the road?
It's just been kind of weird, you know. It's been okay. I mean, you know, I have good days and bad days, but it's kind of, you know, just still hit and miss a little bit out there, right? I don't care what you say.
How do you mean hit and miss?
Because of the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just now coming back out, but it's still kind of a little bit weird, you know, just a little.
Oh yeah.
Not full go everywhere. You know, in Florida, it's pretty well go because, you know, you can play outside every day basically, right? But and we're a little bit more like the wild, wild west here when it comes to the whole COVID thing. Right? So there you go. But you know, if you go up north or whatever, it gets a little weirder.
Yeah, I went to Gojira Deftones at the Anthem in DC 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And like the place is going crazy, but there was probably still 40 or 50% of the people in there wearing masks.
Well, and that's the ones that are going out.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit. It's still not all 100% back to normal yet. You know?
Yeah, I think it'll take a while. You know, people are still pretty freaked out.
I know you got monkeypox and everything else, right? I mean, it just keeps coming, right?
Yeah, I don't know. My mom just got COVID, and it was freaking brutal, man. I would never wish that on my worst enemy.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we even taping yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're on. We're live. We're going for it. Hey, what's happening?
I hope there's Jack Daniels in that Coke you're drinking.
You know what, man? This is how rock and roll I am today. That is grape Kool-Aid.
Oh,
I haven't had Kool-Aid since I was a kid.
Oh, I love it. Well, it's either that or, you know, soda or beer, right?
Right. Oh, it's early, so yeah, I get it. No. Let's talk about Nova Rex. Time is up for you.
Yes.
The newer video out. Now that it's out, what's been the response to it so far, and how do you feel about it?
I'm very excited about it. You know, for me, it's just the music business is so weird. It's not like back in the day where you could just put out albums and albums and albums and albums. Now it's more like, and I've seen a lot of bands do it, single. So you try to do that, but no, the response has been great. It's been out for literally 30 days, and we're at 88,000 actual views.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that, and then that's going to lead into the documentary.
Right.
Nova Rex ain't staying cheesy. There's a little poster I got.
Oh my God, that's cool.
And that will be released, or not released, but our first movie premiere is July 13th.
Wow, where is it premiering?
In Florida. We got a radio station in town that's going to give out tickets and everything. So you got to win to get in.
Are you guys planning on putting that on
cool,
the film circuit, like the independent film circuit?
Well, you know, so again, back in 2010, 11, I did the Nova Rex Ain't Easy Being Cheese. And what happened out of that was a glorified home movie. I didn't really know what I was doing. But I put it together, and after I got it together, it was like, where are they at now, that kind of stuff. And I was like, because I had so much VHS tapes from back in the day. And what's really wild about that, not everybody did. Now, go try to track down a whole bunch of Bullet Boy stuff from the late 80s. It's just not out there.
No,
right?
it's
People
not.
that stuff, you know what I mean? So I happened to do a bunch of TV. I was hustling in my early 20s. So I had all this kind of stuff, and then we put it together. I sent it off to Showtime, and then that ended up getting picked up by the documentary channel that owned that. And what was wild was the acquisition person in Nashville on the documentary channel was from Indianapolis, which I'm from. So she knew the band, she knew the history, she knew some people that were in it. So that aired for 2 years on the doc channel, which was direct and dish TV, like 35 million homes. And it played a lot, man. I mean, it played 60 times probably in that 2 year period. But then as soon as they got bought out by Pivot, then what happened was I ended up getting a deal with a company, and they got it on Netflix. But here's the catch on that. This is 2012. That's back when Netflix was still 50% of the business was mail-in DVD. Remember that? You used to be able to mail in a DVD.
Yeah.
You could hold it as long as you want. And then when you send it back, they'll send you your next one.
Yep.
So we were part of that thing, but it did end up getting into some Walmart and stuff. So with that being said, I did do a couple of film premieres back then, a couple of festivals, but I didn't really know what I was doing. You know what I mean? And so this time around, I have a lot more knowledge. And the doc is actually good. I mean, what I did is out of the first 70-minute documentary, we only used about 20 minutes of the footage. And that was just because it was all classic stuff, you know what I mean? That I gave it up. And then from there, it just talks about everything that's happened since. Just the craziness of being in a 80s metal hair band in 2022.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Yeah.
It's really good, man. It's the ups and downs, just the crazy mayhem. And this one's going to be called, have you seen Ain't Easy Staying Cheesy?
Yeah,
Because I always think the rock and roll business, it's just goofy, man. Everything's goofy.
So when you guys play, do you notice like a generational split? Like, do you have like super young people and then?
I do now. So it's funny, because now it's, it's all, I always make a joke. We're the band that your mom told you about. You know what I mean? But, and we live that same kind of lifestyle. I mean, the only difference between us, and like I said, even in the doc, between us and a band, say like a Motley Crue, is first of all, we didn't do heroin. But second of all, it's just a matter of how many chicks we had after the gig.
Right.
And I make a joke. I said, they might have had a couple hundred. We only had 20. There's only 4 guys in the band.
Right.
So we sort of lived that whole kind of lifestyle, and then, just went from there. I mean, I don't really know what to say. Just all the craziness that happens,
Yeah,
it's hard to stay on the road. It really is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable. The pressure.
Well, I got that too because I book half the damn gigs. But yeah, between that and travel, and now with gas going up $2 a gallon since I booked this gig a month ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh wow, I got 3 vehicles showing up to this thing.
Right, and the guarantees don't go up. So yeah, you're underwater there, right?
Yeah, well, you can be. I mean, it's rock and roll. You don't really know. Sometimes things change. There's always a little bit of movement. I always say, rock and roll is about 80% perfect. You expect a 20% F up at some point.
Right.
Something. If it's production, rooms, gas, blow a tire, whatever.
Right.
But no, we still do it, man. We still have the van and trailer and hit the road. So.
Oh,
that's awesome. So,
but I didn't even answer your question. Your question is this. So yeah, we have a bunch of milk now, right? Of course, right? I mean, who doesn't long-haired rocker 80 guys, right? But it's funny. I did a show last year at a place down here in Florida called Leesburg Bike Fest. Pretty big turnout. And we played it, and I had a couple of these like 20-something little cutie pies that come up to me. And they're like, hey, man, just to let you know, we know a band that stole your move. Well, in the first song, we always do that little rocking back and forth move, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, I was like, who'd we steal it from? Is this funny, right? It's some band called Judas Priest.
my God.
That's who we stole it from. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just kind of funny how it's silly like that. But it is wild how it does come full circle. And the circle is hitting right now. That's why you see bands like Warrant, et cetera, back out on the road, right?
Right.
So that's happening. And you need to go see these bands now because there's a lot of them that don't have all the members anymore. These people, some of these bands are getting a little bit older, right? I mean, I grew up looking at Ozzy. I mean, how old's Ozzy now? 90?
Yeah, right.
So you just have to, so that's kind of fun. But just trying to keep the rock and roll alive. I mean, why not? I only know one way, man, and that's 100% go. Turn to 10 on everything, whatever it is.
Right.
Make a joke. So now a lot of guys wear like the little bike chains, right? Yeah. So I got a couple guys in my band that got a bike chain. Well, then I showed up with one that hit the floor. You know what I mean? Or I'll come with one. I'll have 5 of them. Not just one. Got to go 5, right? 5 on each side. I don't even care. Just keep amping everything up. So that's kind of the only thing I know how to do is full go. So
that's great.
But yes, we do get a lot of younger crowd, and the thing is now that 80s metal is it's classic rock. I mean, turn on your, when we were growing up, I'm assuming that we're listening to Zone and things like that on classic rock,
right?
And now you hear Bon Jovi, Def Leppard. So that's the difference. But it's pretty funny how you can see these kids now wearing Motley Crue T-shirts and stuff.
Oh yeah,
20 years old.
Yeah,
and they're like, how'd you know Motley Crue from the dirt?
Yeah,
it ain't because of
right.
It's because of the
Netflix,
YouTube documentaries, right, Bruce?
I'm sorry. Yes, I do.
So you get it. Yeah. So I was trying to explain to my guys. I said, look, do you understand that the documentary that we're getting ready to release is kind of bigger than a record deal? Because record deals, there's so many, there's just like 2 companies that own almost all the radio stations, right? That's why we have our own thing. And they only play the bands that are going to spend money on them. So there's not that kind of airplay anymore. I mean, if a band like, say, even Bon Jovi, you see what he did on his last tour, right? He put an album out and he gave away the CD with the concert ticket.
Right.
Great move, because they're hard to sell anymore. I mean, I had somebody give me a CD a month ago, and I don't have a CD player in my car, on my computer. I don't have one in my house.
Right. Either.
For years.
So here's a question I have.
Yeah.
Being an 80s rock band, there used to be all those like 80s shredder guitars,
right?
And I noticed in your videos, you're playing like Strats and Tellys and Les Pauls and stuff.
Right. You want to know the reason behind that?
Yeah.
Well, okay. First of all, you've seen my bass. I got a GL that's all gold sparkly, and then I have that.
Yeah.
Pretty badass, right?
Yeah.
But a guitar player, he's just a Fender guy. I mean, he's sponsored by Fender. He's been Fender from day one. So it's been mentioned before. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Fender guy too. You don't see it. I have an Ibanez here, but I have 2 Fender Strats and I got 2 Fender basses. And those are like, I just use them nonstop. I just love them. But like, whenever I've watched 80s bands per se, they always had like the Kramers and like the Jacksons and like the shredder necks, like the really thin stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we also used to wear spandex too, right? I can't do that anymore.
Well, you could.
I could. You just don't want to see it happen anymore, dude. The first thing you go when you get old is your ass, man. It's just be like, be hanging like a
little peach.
Them days were over, man. Then funny. Tuck the pants in the boots, right?
Yeah. Hey, so what's it like having?
No. I think we keep it pretty real. I mean, we're pretty close. We still do this. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, just some weird delay. But what's it like having John back in the band?
Awesome, dude. I mean, I am so excited about having John. I was trying to get him in day one, and we did a couple of gigs. And like I said, he got auditioned to audition for the Babies. They were putting the Babies back together. They used to have John Waite, Jonathan Cain from Journey, etc. And they got Tony and Wally in there, the guitar player and drummer. And those guys have got their own claim of fame, even on side of that. I mean, Tony played drums with Rod Stewart during the heydays, man.
Right.
During his prime. So, but and it just happened. He got that gig, and then I was actually there for the audition, believe it or not, for him. And I'm like, the guy's name's John, so I mean, you can't get any easier than that. But it's been great. I mean, just a different thing. They asked me from the last singer to the one I have now, and I went from basically being kind of a Rat type of band, that kind of being that way, to being more like more Whitesnakey. You know what I mean? To where I can do that kind of stuff. Which, if you see over the years, and we've been through some singers, 37 years, that it kind of went like that a little bit. Sleaze rock to kind of AOR at one time to, you know what I mean? But we've always kind of kept it kind of metally. I mean, if you got long hair and you're wearing eyeliner, you're pretty much hair metal at that point.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
But it's been great. And then he went and did a couple albums with the Babies. I mean, he's done an Anthology 2 album. He did another album. He's part of the cast at Raiding the Rock Fall out in Vegas. And the one thing I found out, which was crazy, didn't even notice about John, and I've known him for 10 years, is he actually did the soundtrack to the Mighty Ducks 2 soundtrack for Disney.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what it was? It was they had he told me the story because he was in California. They did the what's it called, Rock the Pond or whatever. They call it the pond, right, where the Ducks played. Ducks. So somehow that all hooked up, and so they put out an album for the soundtrack, and of course it's got Queen and Gary Glitter, all your basically anthem-y kind of sports songs, and he's the only one that had an original that wrote. It's called Rock the Pond. It went platinum. Kind of cool, right?
That's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't have a platinum record yet. So.
So I've got one last thing for you, and then I'll turn it over to Chris. But I see you did a cookbook, Rockin' Recipes for Autism, which I think is fantastic. And I don't know, you probably don't know this, but I've done 2 rock and roll cookbooks for those about to cook and for those about to cook pure metal that came out, I don't know, a dozen years ago or so. So that was kind of very interesting. I did not do the do for the charity thing. So I how did you get involved in it, and what's
100%? So what happened was I have one son. He's 20 years old, and he has Asperger's, form of autism. I had him in autistic school during middle school even. So, I mean, so I've kind of dealt with it that way. And then just going to different events, I kept seeing this charity called We Rock for Autism. It's a 501c out of South Florida. Mm-hmm. And they kept showing up these events. And of course, I'm autographing stuff and sending stuff. And I just became friends with the guy. And after I understand what they were trying to do and accomplish, with music therapy and things like that, then I had a radio show for a couple of years, and then the FM radio show. And then when I was doing that, I was interviewing these different guys. And then one guy, famous bass player, well, I know a lot of bass players, but he was telling me, hey, I just came back from New Orleans myself. And he's like, I'm from there. I got this jambalaya recipe. It's 100 years old. Let me send it to you. So it kind of became a thing. So after I collected about 20 some recipes on my radio show, then I had the charity, then I thought, well, what else is there to do? We got to put this together. It's never really been done. So I just reached out to the ones I had, then I reached out to rock and roll community, mostly friends, obviously. And they were all very cool about doing it. The only thing that was crazy about it is how expensive this is. You could buy a brand new car. How much it cost me to put these books together.
Is that still available? If you want to pick it up?
Yeah, it came out in the middle of COVID, so I kind of got stuck. I was going to do this little PR on it, but everything was closed. But where you go to is this Rockin' without a G, rockinrecipesforautism.com. Tells you why I did it, when I did it, how I did it. Shows you a few flip pages. It's got it's 127 pages. It's almost a 2-pound coffee table book. Wow. And then what it'll do, each artist has like 2 pages. For instance, like say, let me get you one. Here's a great one, Steve Lukather. Mm-hmm. And then,
nice.
Then it'll have his little thing. Or I've got, say, like here's Joey Allen from Warrant.
Right.
Wow.
It's basically his mom's sauce. That's from Italy, like 100 years. I mean, Joey was really cool because Joey actually bought a bunch of books for Christmas.
Oh, that's great.
Eddie from Twisted Sister. Yeah, Ricky Rocket. You know what I mean? So it just kind of went down from there. But it'll say like here, I've got, here's a good one too. The late Frankie Benelli with his ravioli. But it'll give you a little bio on him. Like I have one where it'll say, when he was growing up, he was playing on pots and pans, and now he cooks for his family. It has that kind of PG, fluffy little intro, and then it gives you the recipe and usually why it came from. And so, yeah, it was 57 artists in the whole thing.
That's wonderful.
That is very cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea. So, I mean, it's still, and the thing about a cookbook, like we said, talking about doing the new video, the video has been out for 33 days, and it's up to about 88,000. Well, that's it. I mean, that's the life of a video. I mean, I can stretch it out another month and get another few thousand, but with a cookbook, they don't expire. My fiance, she was from Georgia, raised in the kitchen, and she's got the Martha Stewart cookbooks and all that. Sure. So you still pull them out.
Even with the internet, you still pull out those cookbooks. Yeah.
Right. So all that stuff is out there. I just never did the big distribution deal with it. I thought we could just sell them online and get the bands to help promote and stuff. But then again, it came out in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And now it's not brand new. You know what I mean? So it's a year and a half old or whatever. So.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. And it's $29.95. Very inexpensive.
Beautiful.
Very cool.
Probably still got $50 for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got Frankie in there.
And it's for a great call.
Frankie, it's The immortal,
I know,
you
right?
immortalized Frankie. We had him on the show, just before or just when he found out, right, Chris?
Right.
Yeah, it was just not when he found out, but when he announced it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we phoned him, and he didn't know we were supposed to phone him. So the publicist gave us his phone number. We phoned. His wife
Oh,
picks
wow.
up.
So very uncomfortable for a minute, huh?
It was his wife picks up. Hello,
Right.
and Bruce's like, "Hey, we're phoning for an interview with Frankie." She's like, "What? He doesn't have any interviews." Bruce's like, well, I got the number from insert publicist's name here.
Right.
One second, and you hear her yell, "Hey, Frankie!"
Phone, right?
And then he comes down, and he kept us on the phone for an hour, just talking the whole time.
Unbelievable guy.
He's definitely meant it. Yeah, that's why I say go out and see these bands now. Go support these bands. I mean, you don't really hear them on the radio anymore. You know that. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So the best thing to do is to go see them play live. That's what's left.
Yeah.
So go see that, enjoy that, support the bands, and support your local guys too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But a lot of these legends we don't have much time with because they're 20 years older than us or something.
I know, right? I just did a thing the other day. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to Rudy Sarzo, right? I interviewed him on the radio station. I geeked out on him a little bit because I told the story like in 1982. I seen the Ozzy concert right after they replaced Randy Rhoads with Brad Gillis. Yeah. You know, at a 15-year-old kid, that changed my life, man. It changed my life. I mean, I really thought they were superheroes.
Right.
You know, and I seen him. He played it last week, and I mean, Rudy's 71.
I know.
I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That's like my mom's age almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go see.
Same with guys like David Coverdale. You know.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what they say. This is his last. You know, I mean,
the guy can still sing like a motherfucker too.
That dude can sing in his sleep, man. You know what I mean?
Dude.
That's a different level of vocalist right there. Let's be real. It's like saying Ronnie James Dio or freaking dude from Queen.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Same category.
Yeah. No, Seeing I saw Whitesnake open the Girls tour.
Open for him.
Yeah, Whitesnake opened for Crew.
Wow. Okay.
They blew him off the stage probably.
And
I wouldn't want to get after them. No way.
Oh my God, I'll never forget when he's like in the still of the night, and he's just like, and he just all the way up, and I was just like, oh my God, you know, like this is fucking crazy.
Well, he's the bar though, right? I mean, you know.
Oh yeah.
I put him there. Steven Tyler, same thing. You know, you guys are getting there. So yeah. So with that being said, like I said, all Nova Rex does is we just like to, present that time frame. You know, obviously, our songs and this and that, but still just trying to give everybody that rock and roll show, man.
So where are your next shows? You said one in Atlanta.
It's actually in Conyers, Georgia, which is 20 minutes from Atlanta. We play this Saturday, the June 4th. And then our following gig after that will be July 1st at the Amway. What we did, we go over there. They have the Arena Football League, the Predators. What we'll do is I did it last year. It's pretty fun. I mean, it is the Amway, right? So big stage, pyro, all that. They set us up in the end zone and we play like a 30-minute pregame thing. And then it's basically all about the halftime.
And great exposure, right?
That's so cool.
We'll fly. Well, the thing that I liked about it is this an ego thing, but they have a 40 by 60 foot digital sign on the side of the Amway right off I-4. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Right? And they put our banner up there for that, and then it would go to Elton John. Then us, Elton John. Wow.
Nice.
So that's kind of fun, yeah.
That's all I've got.
And then the next thing is we have a private show. I'm sorry, what's that?
No, sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted with a delay.
No, I just saying, and the last thing we got coming up is July 13th. We're doing our movie premiere in Winter Park, Florida, at the Loma. What's it called? Loma Cinema.
And how do people enter to win those tickets?
I haven't really figured it out because it's only 120 seats, and I think what I'm going to do is I have a radio station, probably two of them, one in Orlando, one in Daytona, that'll probably give them away.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So because you got to have a little skin in the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So that should be fun.
Perfect. I've got nothing else, Chris.
Me neither. Thanks for chatting with us. I'd never heard of this band until today, and now I fucking love you guys.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. We're just, we're off. We're not recording, right?
Yeah, I am, but I'm editing. So don't worry. Yeah.
We're always recording, but
Oh no, I'm just saying we're kind of like the London band. You know what I mean? Like, remember London?
I do.
Yeah.
California. We're like that in the Midwest. That's sort of how we, you know what I mean? We're sort of like we're like that in betweeny thing. One day you can see us be direct support for Cheap Trick, and the next day you can see me go on at noon at Rocklahoma.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it just kind of bounces around. But
that's
just
good though. You're still going.
Trying to make new memories.
Yeah.
That was the thing about this band. I said, look, I don't want to be the guy and tell you about all the crazy ass stories over 37 years, and I've got them. You know what I mean? I've got them. But I was like, let's go make some new ones.
That is a great way to end this podcast right
Absolutely.
there. That's very positive.
Yeah. And you can always check us out at NovaRexRocks.com. Follow us on all social media.
Awesome.
And hopefully by the end of summer, you'll see us on Hulu or Netflix or something. So
that'd be great.
I hope so. I want to watch this movie.
It'll happen.
I'm nowhere near Florida, so I can't go watch it, but I want to see it.
It'll happen. It'll be out there.
Thank you, my friend, for taking the time. I appreciate it.
When will this air? When will you put it up?
A couple weeks.
Just send me the link, bro. You know the deal.
Will do.
And I'll share it.
All right. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Cool.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.